We're back with Eye on South Florida. Joining us now is Kate Arrizza, Director of Education and Exhibits at the South Florida Science Museum. Thank you for joining us. Did I get the last name correct? Say it again.
Pretty much Arrizza.
Arrizza. Arrizza.
Close
I
enough.
love that name, like pizza. It works. What do you do at the museum?
Well, I am the Director of Education and Exhibits. So I have a really fun job. I get to run all the educational programs, and I get to plan and book all of our exhibits. We have a great staff, as you've heard Lou talk about. So I get to plan all the fun things that we bring into the museum. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that.
Now, how long have you been working there for?
About 2 years.
2 years. Were you in the same line of work before that?
I was not, actually. Okay. I was in the United States Navy for about 10 years.
Oh, my goodness. Were you really? You're in the Navy.
I was. I was in education in the Navy. I was an instructor in training as a lieutenant. And so when I got out of the Navy, I moved back home. I'm from here originally. Okay. And it was kind of a natural transition to go from the education field into, still in education now, because there's some things that are just fundamental, regardless whether if you're in the Navy or if you're in, a science museum, hands-on learning, making it fun. That's, what we try and do.
Now, do you help to decide which exhibits, the ones that would just stay for a short time, do you have an input on which ones come here?
I do. What I kind of do is I speak to people all over the country that rent exhibits, and I know our audience pretty well, so I see, is it going to be fun? Is it enough hands-on? Is it really interesting? And I'll kind of make some finalists, and then what I do is I bring them to Lou, and together we get input from the staff and input from the Board of Trustees, and then we kind of make the final decision on which one we want.
That's great. Now, I said I was going to quiz you because I have my whole list here. Talk to me, I guess these are the exhibits that are normally there.
These are the permanent exhibits.
The permanent
yes.
ones. Tell me about the Egypt gallery.
We are really lucky. We actually have one of the only real child mummies in the state of Florida. It's on loan to us here. So we have a mummy that's about of a 5-year-old child, we estimate. And this is from about 3,000 years ago. So we have that in a temperature-controlled, regulated environment. And you can actually come and see a real mummy here at the exhibit. Besides that, we actually have authentic artifacts. We have scarab beetles, we have canopic jars, a sarcophagus mask. And, these are actually things from the Egyptian era that many years ago. So it's really neat. We're lucky to have that.
All right, talk to me, out of this world.
Well, that is actually our space exhibit. So we have a meteor that you can actually come and you can touch and you can feel what a meteor actually feels like. We have a rock from Mars. We have a rock from the moon. We have a video of Apollo 11 and some astronauts. We have their actual conversation. It's running on a loop, so you can hear exactly what they're saying. And we have a great photo op. You can actually get inside a spacesuit and take your picture. So it's really neat. The kids love that, and that's kind of our space exhibits.
All right, interactive outdoor science trail. I think it's like a picnic table or something out there too. Okay.
We have about 10 to 15 picnic tables out. We have an acre science trail out kind of on the back of the museum, a little bit towards the zoo. We have a dig pit out there where we refresh every day. We put actual fossils, real fossilized shark's teeth in there. So we have the children go out there and they're able to dig for their own fossils in this dig pit, and then they get to keep what they find. And we have a description of what type of shark's teeth they are. So again, they're having fun but learning as well. Right. We have a giant bubble maker, which kids can make huge bubbles and kind of, with their wands, and run around the science trail. We have actual dinosaur tracks out on kind of the backside of our science trail. What we did is we took a model of dinosaur tracks that were found in Utah, and we actually have castings so kids can actually walk the actual footsteps that these dinosaurs did out in the back of our science trail. Of course, it's just a casting, but it's pretty neat to actually walk in the footsteps of these two dinosaurs. So there's a lot out back.
The tiger shark submarine.
The tiger shark submarine, that's out in the front of the museum. That's probably one of our oldest permanent exhibits. It's on the front homepage of the website. And you can go and you can get your picture taken in front of the submarine. It's not a huge submarine like some people may be thinking. It's a one-person submarine, actually, so it's pretty tiny. And you can go and you can get your picture taken, and it's very, very neat.
Now, so far, for the time that you've been with the South Florida Science Museum, what do you think is the most fun thing for the kids when they go there out of the permanent exhibits? What really excites the kids?
Oh, you know what excites them is the aquarium, and actually Lou kind of mentioned we do shark and stingray pettings now. These kids, they faces light up when we bring this nurse shark out. Now, granted, it's not a man-eater. It's right. It's manageable. But our aquarist, she brings the nurse shark out, and the kids gather around and they get to touch it and they get to feel, the skin and how it feels like sandpaper and smooth on one side. So that's really, really neat. And seeing their face light up is really fantastic.
All right, so back now, I get to quiz you again. Tell me about this one. My kids love the bugs.
The bugs exhibit. That's actually new. We just opened in October, this bugs exhibit, and we brought out we have a really large insect and butterfly and moth collection. So what we did is we decided, let's put it on display. So we remodeled this room and we painted the walls. We have a graphic designer who's very talented, so we painted the walls and we brought in the collection, so it's at a level so that kids can see. And then what we have on one side of the room is a large ant farm, so a live ant farm, so the kids can actually see what the ants are doing and where to find the queen and to look for her. And then on the other side, we have metamorphosis. We have the 4 stages of metamorphosis going on. So at any time when you come, you can either see the caterpillars themselves, or you'll see them in their chrysalid, or you'll see the pupa, or you'll actually see the butterflies. And we have descriptions around as well, so they can, whatever stage that the butterflies or caterpillars are in, they can learn what stage they're going to be going to next.
So that's a lot of fun. Okay, so you talked about the aquariums. What about the planetarium?
We actually, in 2008, were lucky enough to get our planetarium renovated. So now we have a 61-seat digital planetarium, and we show out-of-this-world planetarium shows. Not just night skies and things like that. Those we show, and they're really fantastic. But we also show movies. We show, to supplement the bugs exhibit, we have a bugs movie. And we show movies about fish. It's kind of like a Finding Nemo type movie. We show movies about astronauts and black holes, and so it's really fantastic because you feel like you are inside the movie. I hear all the time when we're in there, the kids think that they're moving in their seats, and we say, no, you're not really moving, but it feels that way. And then we have the traditional night sky show, where at 2 o'clock every day, visitors can go and we will display what stars and constellations they can see in the night sky that night. So they can go home and try and find Orion or whatever's out in the sky.
Do you end up having a lot of schools go there, whether it's during the school year or a summer camp?
We do. That's, and we love to see them. Like Lou said, we have about 45,000 students that either come to the museum or we go to them on outreach. So, and Planetarium is very popular with the schools, so we love having them there. But in the summer, it's especially, there's a lot of summer camps that come into the museum.
Oh, I'm sure. It's such an education. I mean, you learn a little bit of everything when you go to the Science Museum.
Exactly.
All right, we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
Thank you, Kate.
Sure.
And we will be right back. We're exploring science today. We're talking about the South Florida Science Museum with Lou and Kate. We want to talk about some events because you definitely have events going on. You have an event that's coming up August 26th about sports. What is it all about? Is it you see your favorite sports, you get to dress up in a certain uniform? What happens?
Sure. Well, that event is August 26th. That's actually the last Friday in August. So this is something of what we have. It's the last Friday of every month called Night at the Museum. And we started this because, everyone kind of wonders what happens at night in a museum. They see the movie. They're not really sure. So we thought, why don't we stay open one night later each month? And we also wanted to start this because we just reopened our observatory this year. We actually have the only public observatory in Palm Beach County. We have a 14-inch Celestron telescope, and we partner with the Astronomical Society of the Palm Beaches. So the last Friday of every month, the public can come in and actually have the only viewing in the county through a very large telescope in our observatory, and they can ask the Astronomical Society anything they want to.
And Tanya, if you've seen the rings of Saturn up close and personal through a very powerful telescope,
I haven't.
It is something that smacks you right in the eye. It is so incredible. You can see each ring, and you can see the red spot on Jupiter too. So a lot of things that are going on out there that are revealed in a telescope of this size and power.
Now, when you have this on the last Friday of every month, there is a fee. Do you have to call with reservations or anything, or you just show up? So you never know how many you're going to show up.
Yeah, well, we had 402 at the last session. We don't get that all the time.
Okay.
But we have an event coming up what is the last Friday in July going to be?
July 29th.
July 29th. That's an event that will have free barbecue, free snow cones, free popcorn, free all kinds of stuff, plus a great, kind of midsummer nights summer fun.
Now, the other nights when you do this, on Friday night, the last Friday of every month, is there always food provided? Like, do they pay extra for the food, or is that included in the admission fee?
For the moment, it's free.
Okay.
We may be getting a restaurant coming in, and they will be charging, but for right now, for the foreseeable future, we're talking about free food, which is donated to us by sponsorships like McDonald's or Chick-fil-A or some of the other local merchants around town.
Tell me about the excitement when parents get to come, because it really is a family place. Tell me about the excitement of being able to learn but spend time with your family.
Well, I mean, in an economy where it's very sluggish, gas prices are high, and so the option of heading off to have a vacation in Hawaii or someplace like that, those options are relatively limited. People have to develop a staycation approach.
We do.
And you have to, you certainly want to do that in a place that's exciting and fun and uplifting, and that's what the museum tries to be. One of the things we try to do at the museum is to reach out and form partnerships with organizations like, as Kate pointed out, the Astronomical Society. We also have an arrangement with the ham radio people. 5,000 ham radio enthusiasts in Palm Beach County alone, and you can walk into their Radio Shack, get on the air, and hook up with someone broadcasting from New South Wales or Russia or Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, or wherever. And it's great for kids who've never had that kind of opportunity before, for adults too, as a matter of fact.
Now, speaking of fun, does the Science Museum also do parties? Like, can somebody have a birthday party there?
We do. We offer several different types of parties, from dinosaurs to a princess party to chemicals. If you want to have your birthday party at the Science Museum, we have different levels with different things included. We can do all your food included. We can send out your invites. We can cover it all for you. So it's really, really fun having your birthday party there as well.
Tell me about an upcoming exhibit, the robots.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
We are really lucky to get an exhibit from the Carnegie Science Center, and it's going to be on robotics, and that's coming this fall from September to January. So visitors can come in, they can learn the importance of how robotics are really affecting our everyday lives, and how they are now and how they will in the future. They can get to build their own mechanical robots. They get to move mechanical robot arms, try and pick things up and see it's not as easy as it looks. So that should be a really fun exhibit for visitors this fall.
We have about 2 minutes left. What lasting thought would you like to share about the Science Museum?
Well, I think the Science Museum is on an upward trajectory these days. I think there were considerations, there were maybe doubts about it a few years ago, but I can say that the entire place is humming, alive and well. We're in the black. We're building an addition, several additions as a matter of fact. We've got new board members. Some exciting new events are planned. So the energy is very positive instead of kind of sort of sitting there. So we're proud to be part of this community and to be loved back by this community. As I said, I was somewhat surprised that a facility that didn't look like, you know, Kublai Khan's pleasure dome ended up being so well loved and so well liked. But here we are. We've been here for 50 years, and we will be here for another 50 years doing good and educating people in our community.
Well, we get to wrap up. We ran out of time already. Thank you so much,
Thank
Lou.
you,
And
Tanya.
thank you, Kate, for joining us. And
Thank
we'll
you.
definitely be taking the kids again to go visit because we love the museum. So thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
And until next time, have a great day.